That's Cambridge.
Not that I'm aware of. There's a lot of.
I see it's reading about the form letters. Copied to Minister Rickford, and
Yep. I guess you have to point where.
she'll get the same response I normally send out.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Please, we need the 22 operating budget line.
I just need to. Right, call a regular meeting of council for the city of Kenora to order. At this time, I'd ask Councillor McMillan for the blessing and land acknowledgement, please.
As we gather, we recognize that we are on Treaty 3 lands which are steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations and Métis people today. We continue to be thankful for the partnership with Indigenous people. We give thanks for the many blessings we enjoy in the city of Kenora. We seek wisdom in our minds, clearness in our thinking, truth in our speaking, and always love in our hearts, so that we may try always to unite the citizens of Kenora. Let these principles guide us in our decision making.
Thank you, Councillor. Public information notices. As required under Notice Bylaw 144-2007, the public is advised of Council's intention to adopt the following at today's meeting. Adopt the 2022 municipal operating budget and establish the 2022 tax rates and ratios. Establish the 2022 council remuneration. Establish the 2022 BIZ levy. Appoint Councillor Mort Goss as Deputy Mayor for the balance of term of council. Adopt a lame duck delegation bylaw. Amend the city's procurement policy. Adopt a new general tariff of fees and charges bylaw. Give effect to new rates in the solid waste division outlined in Schedule D, to include a $2.50 bag tag rate and a $20 flat general usage charge for the scale. Authorize a budget amendment in the amount of $12,500 plus HST to be funded through the Arts Center Reserve for emergency repairs to the Arts Center balcony. Close the road allowances legally identified as PIN 42169-0250 and a portion of PIN 42169-0295 and be declared surplus to the requirements of the municipality. Close road allowance legally identified as portion of PIN 42169-0277 and declare surplus to the requirements of the municipality. Authorize a budget amendment in the amount of $171,272 to be funded through the Solid Waste Reserve to complete the Phase 1 perimeter road construction at the Kenora area landfill. This time I'd ask if any member of council wishes to declare pecuniary interest in general nature thereof pertaining to items either on today's agenda or from a previous meeting or from a meeting in which a member was not in attendance. Seeing none. Ask for resolution number 1, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 1 moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that the following minutes of the Council of the City of Kenora be adopted as circulated. Regular Council of April 19, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Presentations and deputations, we have none today. Additions to the agenda. Resolution number 2, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 2, and it's seconded by Councillor Goss, that approval be hereby given for the following additional items to be added to today's agenda, which are in direct relation to the passing of the 2022 operating budget, tax rates and ratios, 2022 council remuneration, and 2022 BIZ levy request.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Appointments, we have none. Resolution number 3, please.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby accepts the monthly financial statements of the Corporation of the City of Kenora at March 31st, 2022.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 4.
Resolution number 4, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss. The council hereby adopts the report dated April 26, 2022, related to 2022 budget matters by resolution as required under the Municipal Act 2001, Ontario Regulation 284/09.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 5.
Resolution number 5, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby approves the updated asset management plan for the City of Kenora as prepared by Public Sector Digest, and further, that administration continue to improve the data underlying this plan and strategies with which to manage the city's infrastructure.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 6.
Resolution number 6, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the 2021 investment report that includes details of the City of Kenora Citizens Prosperity Trust Fund investments.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 7.
Sorry, Worship. Resolution number 7, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that council hereby adopts an amended procurement policy AF1-1 for the Corporation of the City of Kenora, and further that policy AF-1-1 form part of the comprehensive city policy manual, and further that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144/2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend the city procurement policy at its May 17, 2022 meeting, and further that a bylaw, or that bylaw number 149-2019 be hereby repealed, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 8.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move resolution number 8, and it's seconded by Councillor Goss, that council hereby approves the City of Kenora 2022 municipal operating budget as reviewed and amended, and further that in accordance with the notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that the council intends to formally adopt the 2022 municipal operating budget bylaw at its May 17th council meeting, and further that council authorizes city administration to proceed with the implementation of all budget-related decisions in accordance with these reflected within the amended budgets, and further that council give 3 readings to bylaw to adopt the 2022 municipal operating budget.
Call question. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 9.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby adopts revenue-neutral tax ratios for 2022 to mitigate reassessment impacts between property classes, and that council hereby provides 3 readings to the following bylaws. A bylaw to set tax ratios and to set tax rate reductions for prescribed property classes and subclasses for municipal purposes for the year 2022, and a bylaw to adopt the estimates for all sums required for the year to establish rates to be levied for same, and to provide for penalty and interest in default of payment thereof for 2022, and further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given of council's intentions to set tax ratios and tax rates for 2022 at its May 17, 2022 meeting.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 10.
Resolution number 10, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Van Willingham. Then in accordance with Council's annual remuneration policy, CC-15-1, Council hereby establishes Council's 2022 remuneration to be set at Mayor $40,653.80, and council $20,449.49, with per diems established at $196.91 effective January 1st, 2022. And further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144, 2007, notice is hereby given that council intends to adopt a bylaw establishing council remuneration rates for 2022 at its May 17, 2022 meeting, and further that the appropriate bylaw be passed for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 11.
Resolution number 11, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby approves the Harbour Town Centre Business Improvement Board budget request in the amount of $44,653.37 for 2022, and further, that council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to adopt the estimates for funds to be raised for 2022 on behalf of the Harbour Town Centre Business Improvement Board, and further, that in accordance with notice bylaw 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to formally adopt the 2022 Business Improvement Board levy at its May 17th meeting.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 12.
Resolution number 12, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that council adopted user rate increases for the Environmental Services Division at the March 22nd, 2022 council meeting through the adoption of the solid waste utility budget, and further that council hereby adopts a new tariff of fees and charges bylaw to include the new environmental services rate increases, which includes a $2.50 bag tag fee and a $20 flat scale rate, plus other scale rate increases. And further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to give 3 readings to a new general tariff fees and charges bylaw at its May 17, 2022 meeting to give effect to these rates outlined in Schedule B. And further, that the new rates take effect July 1st, 2022, and further, that bylaw number 156-2021 be hereby repealed.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 13, please.
Your worship, resolution number 13, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the council hereby adopts a council Code of Conduct Policies number CC-5-2 for the Corporation of the City of Kenora, and further that policy number CC-5-2 form part of the comprehensive city policy manual, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 14.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move resolution number 14, and it's seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that council hereby adopts a boards and committee code of conduct policy number CC-14-2 for the Corporation of the City of Kenora, and further that policy number CC-14-2 form part of the comprehensive city policy manual, and further that 3 readings be given to bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 15, please.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that council hereby delegates authority to the Chief Administrative Officer from August 19th, 2022 to November 14th, 2022, excuse me, to be the financial signing authority for expenditures outside the current budget exceeding $50,000 and/or for the disposition of any real or personal property of the municipality which has a value exceeding $50,000 at the time of disposal, and further, that the bylaw shall come into force only in the event when determined by the city clerk with certainty that the lame duck provisions pursuant to Section 275 of the Municipal Act 2001 occurring twice during the municipal election process are in effect.
All in favor? Opposed? It's carried. Resolution 16, please.
Resolution 16, Your Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss, that council adopts an amended use of corporate resources for election purpose policy, CC 10-1, and further that policy CC-10-1 forms part of the City of Kenora Comprehensive Policy Manual, and further that bylaw number 210, 2010 be hereby repealed, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 17.
Resolution 17, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Wallaham, that council hereby approves amendments to Schedule A of the parking lots and structures bylaw to amend Lot C, Lot E, Lot S, and Lot W, and further, that council gives 3 readings to a new parking lots and structures bylaw to include these amendments and consolidate any previous amendments. And further, that in accordance with notice bylaw 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to give 3 readings to a new parking lots and structures bylaw at its May 17th, 2022 meeting to reflect these changes as outlined in Schedule A, and further, that bylaws numbers 82-2018, 50-2019, 93-2019, 42-2021, 61-2021, and 81-2021 are hereby repealed.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 18.
Resolution number 18, your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby appoints Councillor Mort Goss as deputy mayor for the final rotation for this term of council.
All in favor? Are you voting?
Sure.
Otherwise it's a nay.
Negative vote, right, exactly.
It's too late now. That was a test, Council.
On the pin, on the head of the pin here.
Resolution number, motion is carried. Resolution number 19, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 19, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that council hereby receives the 2022 Q1 report for the Fire and Emergency Services Division.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 20.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 20, and it's seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby authorizes the mayor and clerk to enter into a 10-year agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Bell Canada for the Next Generation 911 Authority Service Agreement, and further that 3 readings be given to bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 21, please.
Your worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that council hereby receives the engineering and infrastructure services first quarter updates as presented.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 22.
Resolution number 22, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss. The council hereby approves a budget amendment in the amount of $171,272 to be funded through the Solid Waste Reserve to complete the Phase 1 perimeter road construction at the Kenora Area Landfill, and further that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144, 2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend its 2022 solid waste operating and capital budget at its May 17, 2022 meeting to withdraw funds from the Solid Waste Reserve in the amount of $171,272 to complete this work, and further that council give 3 readings to a bylaw to amend the 2022 solid waste operating and capital budgets for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 23.
Resolution number 23, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby authorizes a funding application to the Federal Economic Development Agency, Ontario Regional Tourism Relief Fund, and further that council approves any cost overruns associated with this project.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 24.
Resolution number 24, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that council hereby approves a budget amendment in the amount of up to $12,500 plus HST to be funded through the Arts Centre Reserve for emergency repairs to the Arts Centre balcony. And further, that in accordance with notice bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to amend its 2022 capital budget at its May 17, 2022 meeting for this purpose. And further, that council give 3 readings to a bylaw to amend the 2022 capital budgets for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 25.
Your worship, resolution number 25, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the council hereby receives the Community Service Division first quarter report for 2022 as presented.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 26.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move resolution number 26, seconded by Councillor Poirier, that the Council of the City of Kenora close the road allowances identified in the attached Exhibit 1 and legally identified as PIN 42169-0250 and a portion of PIN 42169-0295, and further that the road allowances identified in a survey prepared by Rugged Geomatics and legally identified as PIN 42169-0250 and a portion of PIN 42169-0295 as identified in attached Exhibit 1 be declared surplus to the requirements of the municipality, and further that in accordance with Notice Bylaw 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that the council intends to declare these described lands as surplus to the needs of the municipality at its May 17th, 2022 meeting, and further that council hereby authorizes a purchase and sale agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and 10000089155 Ontario Inc. for the sale of the identified lands in the amount of $16,000, and further that 3 readings be given to bylaws for these purposes.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 27.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby closes the road allowance legally identified as a portion of PIN 42169-0277, and further that the road allowance identified in a survey prepared by Rugged Geomatics and legally identified as a portion of PIN 42169-0277 as identified in an attached Exhibit 1 be hereby declared surplus to the requirements of the municipality, and further that in accordance with Notice Bylaw number 144-2007, public notice is hereby given that council intends to declare these described lands as surplus to the needs of the municipality at its May 17th, 2022 meeting, and further the council hereby authorizes a purchase and sale agreements between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and 10110628 MB Limited and 1489298 Ontario Inc. for the sale of the identified lands in the amount of $11,250 each, and further that 3 readings be given to bylaws for these purposes.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 28.
Resolution number 28, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that the application for zoning bylaw amendment, file number D14-22-01, to change the zoning of the subject properties from RU, Rural Zone, MX, Extractive Industrial Zone, TR, Tourist Recreational Zone, with the hazard land exception, zone overlay, and EP environmental protection zone, to community hall, place of assembly, and EP environmental protection zone, should be approved only with the addition of additional site-specific exceptions. A minimum setback of 7 meters shall be required from any part of a building, principal building or structure from the edge of the Trans-Canada Pipeline right-of-way. B, a minimum subject of 3.0 meters shall be required from any part of an accessory building or accessory structure from the edge of the Trans-Canada Pipeline right-of-way. C, A minimum setback of 7 meters from the nearest portion of the Trans-Canada Pipeline right-of-way shall also apply to any parking area or loading area including any parking places, loading spaces, stacking spaces, bicycle parking spaces, and any associated aisle or driveway. The addition of campground as an additional permitted use. And further, that the amendment be approved with the addition of a H holding symbol to the RU 53 zone, and that the H holding symbol may not be removed. And further, development of the subject property may not occur until A, an environmental impact study has been completed with specific attention to the impact of the proposed development on the shoreline, marsh area, Black Sturgeon Lake water quality, and wildlife, fish and/or species at risk habitats. B, confirmation has been received that the applicant has consulted with the Ministry of Northern Development, Mines, Natural Resources and Forestry regarding the nature of the abandoned mine hazard sites. C, a study or studies are provided to the satisfaction of the City of Kenora, confirming that A, the area is currently zoned MX, extractive industrial, are rehabilitated to accommodate subsequent land uses, and B, either aggregate resource extraction would not be feasible on the area of the property identified as potential aggregate area, or that the proposed land use creates no risk for reasons of public health, public safety, and environmental impact.
Discussion on this one?
So she will now stand up.
Is there discussion after?
Yeah.
Councillor Smith, please.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I'd like to introduce an amendment to Resolution number 28, so it'll be 28A, and it's moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier. That motion number 28 on today's agenda with respect to the zoning bylaw, amendment file D14-2201 be amended to remove the hold zone. And if I may, Mayor, make a couple comments?
Certainly.
Thank you. So when the Kenora Chiefs Advisory Planner, Jeff Port, submitted some additional arguments and rationale about some of the issues in the holding zone, and I thought they were very logical, and I support his analysis and his rationale for bringing them forward. The mine hazard sites was an area that was to be included in the holding zone, and I agree with Jeff's comments about that holding zone and that it should be removed. Jeff's point about the existing aggregate pits, Jeff commented that a Phase 1 ESA had already been completed, and when I read the... Sorry.
If I could you please refer to him as Mr. Port?
I will, thank you. And when Mr. Port pointed that out and I went back and read it, it did mention the pit. And so I really, and there was no problem with it at that stage. So I question whether a Phase 2 ESA would make any difference. So I agree with Mr. Port's analysis on that, and I support it. And Mr. Port's point number 4 about the environmental impact statement, I think that, and there's agreement that the environmental impact study could be covered under a site plan control agreement, and I think that that is the proper place for that. I did raise concerns about a sand volleyball pit being created on what I thought was an environmental protection zone. It is just outside that environmental protection zone. Having said that, because of its proximity, it's still within 120 meters would be subject to an environmental impact study. So I'm hoping that when Kenora Chiefs do their environmental impact study, that they consult with DFO and they look at that site, and if it does impact fish habitat, it's easy to replace a volleyball court, but it's not easy to replace fish habitat. So certainly I'm confident that that will be looked at during the EIS, and I'm satisfied with that. So having said all that, I support this amendment to have that holding zone removed from the resolution. Thanks for the time, Worship.
Anyone else at this point? Councillor McMillan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Initially, I do acknowledge the work that has gone into this file by the planners in the city. I support approving the zoning of this property for the purposes outlined in the application and support the amended resolution. I do believe it is a win-win opportunity for both the city and Kenora Chiefs Advisory. The merits of this initiative have been spoken to both in the presentations and the introductory comments shared by KCA, and I do agree with the vision of Ogima Wabitong as presented. It has been endorsed by the chiefs within KCA in consultation with the elders. As has been stated, it's based on a direction to create and nurture an environment for healing and growth, an opportunity for First Nations youth and adults to re-engage with their culture in a supportive and accepting environment. For non-First Nation peoples, it is an opening to engage and build relationships through interaction with First Nation peoples and the teachings and sharing by the elders and staff, which is a step towards reconciliation. The city is committed to building relationships with First Nation communities and First Nation residents within the city. And one of the key elements in doing so is to build trust. By approving this zoning as has been proposed within the amendment, I do believe it is a step towards building that trust. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just to reiterate what my colleague said, thank you very much for moving the amendment. I fully support it. I'm very excited for this project. I think what's going to happen at this property has been a long time coming. There's been a lot of work both by the applicant and city staff to see this happen, and it's something that really needs to be celebrated. So I look forward to what you guys are going to do on this property, and thank you for your commitment to our community.
Anyone else before I call the question? All right. Amended Resolution 28A, all in favor? Opposed? It's carried. This one goes. Yep.
This one's on side.
Who has 28A as amended? Councillor Smith, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. 28A as amended, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Poirier, that the application for zoning bylaw amendment file number D1422-01 to change the zoning of the subject properties from RU Rural Zone, MX Extractive Industrial Zone, TRHL Tourist Recreational Zone, with a hazard land exemption zone overlay and EP Environmental Protection Zone to RU 53, Rural Exception Zone with permitted site-specific uses of a community hall, place of assembly and youth camp, and EP Environmental Protection Zone should be approved only with the addition of additional site-specific exceptions. A minimum setback of 7.0 meters shall be required from any part of a principal building or structure from the edge of the Trans-Canada pipeline right-of-way. B, a minimum setback of 3.0 meters shall be required from any part of an accessory building or accessory structure from the edge of the Trans-Canada pipeline right-of-way. C, a minimum setback of 7.0 meters from the nearest portion of a Trans-Canada pipeline right-of-way shall also apply to any parking area or loading area, including any parking spaces, loading spaces, stacking spaces, bicycle parking spaces, and any associated aisle or driveway. And further, that a new definition for youth camp be added to Section 2 definitions, being denied as a facility designed for overnight accommodations for youth and staff, which may include multiple single buildings designed to provide sleeping quarters without water and sewer services and a communal youth hostel. Comments? Mayor?
Councillor Smith.
So I'd like to comment on this project for our community and for the surrounding communities. I have been out to that property, and I was totally blown away by the property and the project and the proposal going forward to have a land-based healing center for not only Indigenous youth but others, and that connection to the land, and hopefully a mental health and addiction center out there is a game changer for this community. I am fully supportive of that, and I'm very grateful and thankful for the work that Kenora Chiefs are doing. I could not say that at the public consultation held last week, because it's not, the purpose of a public consultation is to ask questions about a zoning proposal. Council is obligated to comment only on the zoning proposal and not the project. It's so easy for bias to creep in, whether you're for or against a project, during a zoning bylaw amendment meeting, but that is not the purpose. I think council has to be wary of that going forward. We should be dealing with only what's on the table and zoning bylaw. The time for comments about the project, I think, have to come later. That ensures integrity of the process. So once again, thanks to Kenora Chiefs, I think it's just wonderful. I can't wait to get back out there and do some ribbon cutting, I'm hoping. And the first powwow, I know that there's talk of that. I'm so excited. So congratulations to everyone. Well done. Thank you.
Anyone else? Could you take the chair then, please? So because I wasn't here last week, I have a number of questions, and I'm going to address them to our staff, being the director and the planner. Given this is not the original recommendation, given the proposed change, are you satisfied that the city is protected long-term and it will not create issues for us with future planning applications from anyone else?
Yeah, I think the major consideration and what was noted with the circulation among different agencies was the environmental impact statements. So I know there was consideration on whether we would need to go to a site plan stage, and the risk of being, say, if you're not dealing with the time of zoning, when is the city actually going to have control over mandating that type of study to be completed? So I think that is a major consideration for staff, and as long as council's aware and is very much committed to reviewing that site plan agreement when it's in hand based on the development that unfolds, then we do have control over to seeing what's going to be play out there, and to have some definitely city interests manifest within that agreement.
All right, so just for clarification, this allows the proponent to move the project forward, and it still protects the interests of the planning department in the city of Kenora.
Yeah, so it's not to say that it's all clear sailing. As noted, the site plan agreement is going to have to come forward with any new developments. So as soon as more additional projects kind of get going, then that will have to be something that unfolds. But the benefit of through site plan is that it is you don't have the same public process you do with zoning. It's a lot less. I'd say it's just a little bit more. It's quite a bit more streamlined than you would normally see for a zoning bylaw amendment process. So we will be definitely keen to work with KCA moving forward on the number of different projects that are going to come around our desk.
Thank you. Councillor, I'll take back the chair. Thank you. All right, so we have the amended resolution. So all in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations and best of luck as we move forward. All right, Councillor Smith, I need to find all the resolutions.
That one's the original and that one.
Yep. Okay, so we can do this.
I thought they were going to stick around and watch the sausage get made a little bit longer, but I guess not.
No, they're out. Too long.
All right. Resolution number 29, please.
Resolution number 29, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Stantec Consulting Limited for engineering services, the 2022 Bridge and Structure Inspection Services.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion is carried. Resolution number 30, please.
Resolution number 30, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss. That 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and Collier's Project Leaders, Inc. for the provision of project management services in the amount of $62,830 plus HST, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 31.
Your Worship, resolution number 31, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Loningham, that council gives 3 readings to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the corporation of the city of Kenora and LMD Contracting for the removal and replacement of the Coney Island boardwalk.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 31. 32, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move number 32, and it's seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that council hereby appoints Michelle Saunders to the position of Acting Deputy Treasurer for the City of Kenora, and further that bylaw number 102-2018 be hereby repealed.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 33.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an amending agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and FedNor for the strategic plan project, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. 34, please.
Resolution number 34, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation to provide funding support for Canada Day, and further that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute this agreement.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 35, please.
Resolution number 35, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Van Willingham, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Ministry of Northern Development, Mines, Natural Resources for the SBEC Core Initiatives Funding Program for a 2-year term, and further, the 3 readings be given to a bylaw to execute an agreement between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Ministry of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade for the Starter Company Plus Initiative and Summer Company Initiative for a 2-year term, and further, that the CAO be authorized to execute these agreements.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 36.
Resolution number 36, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that the parties mutually executed a conditional purchase and sale agreement on February 17, 2021 for 202 acres more or less of real property, being all of PIN 42150-3110 and PIN 42150-3112, being parts of the lands commonly referred to as Town Island on Lake of the Woods. And further, that it is deemed necessary and expedient to amend the conditional purchase and sale between the Corporation of the City of Kenora and the Nature Conservancy of Canada. And further, that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor?
Just a brief
Opposed?
comment
Oh.
there. Can we break out the champagne?
Not until that check's in hand. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 37.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 37, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the council hereby adopts the following minutes from various City of Kenora committees. February 23rd, 2022, Kenora Public Library. February 24th and March 24th, 2022, the Muse. March 16th, 2022, Heritage Kenora. That council hereby receives the following minutes from other various committees. March 25th, 2022, Northwest Health Unit. December 15th, 2021, March 27th and March 15th, 2022, District of Kenora Home for the Aged Board of Management, and further that these minutes be circulated and order filed.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Number 38.
Thank you, Your Worship. I move number 38, and it's seconded by Councillor Poirier, that Council of the City of Kenora hereby accepts the March 2022 Kenora Water and Wastewater Systems Monthly Summary Report as prepared by City Administration.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 39.
Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss, that the proposal submitted by Stantec Consulting Limited for general engineering services be hereby accepted.
I'm sorry. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution number 40.
Resolution number 40, Your Worship, moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Goss. Excuse me. The council directs administration to enter into a 4-year agreement, option number 1, with Green Adventures, Lake of the Woods Marina and Service to operate the Coney Island Shuttle Service, and further that council authorizes the mayor and clerk to execute a 4-year agreement with Green Adventures for this purpose, and further that 3 readings be given to a bylaw for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Gentlemen?
I voted for.
Okay. Opposed?
Yeah, although I did second the motion, that was only to bring it as a discussion. I don't believe a 4-year term serves us in our best interests. I think tying ourselves to a 4-year term precludes us from finding better solutions in the next year or two.
Is there a next clause?
I was just going to say, Stace, is there a termination clause in that contract?
There's not a termination clause in that contract. It is a 4-year agreement.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm going to recall it. All in favor? Opposed? All right, so I don't have to record anything here, right? Motion is carried. Resolution number 41.
Pardon me. Resolution number 41, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that council hereby accepts the price submissions of CRCS Recreation Play Power in the amount of $452,581 plus HST for the supply and installation of playgrounds located at Norman Park and Central Park, and further that council authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into a contract with CRCS Recreation/Pay Power for the delivery of the product and services, and further that a bylaw be passed for this purpose.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Resolution 42, please.
Resolution number 42, Your Worship, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Goss. That the following bylaws be now read a first and second time and approved in their present form and presented for third and final reading. Number 47, 2022, confirmatory. Number 48, 2022, establish and regulate parking lots and structures. Number 49, 2022, operating budget approval. Number 50-2022, tax ratios. Number 51, 2022, tax rates. Number 52, 2022, BIZ Levy Request. 53, 2022, Council Remuneration. Number 54, procurement policy, AF 1-1. Number 55, tariff of fees and charges, solid waste division, tipping fee increases. Number 56, 2022, Council Code of Conduct Policy, number CC 5-2. Number 57, Boards and Committees Code of Conduct Policy, number CC 14-2. Number 58, 2022, Lane Duck Delegation Authority. Number 59, Use of Corporate Resources for Election Purposes, Policy number CC 10-1. Number 60, Bell Canada Agreement, Next Generation 911 Authority. Number 61, 2022 Budget Amendment, Kenora Area Landfill Perimeter Road Construction. Number 62, Budget Amendment, Arts Center Balcony Water Damage. Number 63, Closure of Roads and Declaration of Surplus Land, Aberdeen Street and Gray Street. Number 64, 2022 Purchase and Sale Agreement, 10000891155 Ontario Inc., Aberdeen Street and Gray Street. Number 65, 2022, Closure of Roads and Declaration of Surplus Land, Railway Street. Number 66, Purchase and Sale Agreement, 10110628 MB Limited and 1489298 ON Inc., Railway Street. Number 68, 2022, Contract Agreement, Stantec Consulting Limited, Bridge and Structure Inspection Services. Number 69, 2022, Collier's Project Leaders Inc., Service Agreement, Project Management Services. Number 70, 2022 LMD contracting agreement, Coney Island Boardwalk. Number 71, 2022 deputy treasurer appointment. Number 72, 2022 FedNor contribution agreement strategic plan amendment. Number 72, 2022 FedNor contribution agreement strategic plan amendment. Number 73, 2022 NOHFC funding agreement Canada Day fireworks. Number 74, 2022 agreement MND MFNR Northwest Business Center. Number 75, 2022 agreement MEDICT Northwest Business Center. Number 76, 2022 Town Island purchase agreement date amendment. Number 77, 2022 Green Adventures Agreement, Coney Island Shuttle Service. Number 78, 2022 Agreement with CRCS Recreation Play Power Playground and Equipment.
I hear there's a good market for narrators for audiobooks, Councillor Van
Have a drink.
I just wanted to provide a quick update really quick. With regards to the Coney Island shuttle and the question regarding termination, we did just revisit. There is a termination clause in there. Those are brand new templates that have been done as part of the procurement policy project, which we passed earlier today. So those new standard templates, which we will use for all agreements, do have termination clauses to provide maximum flexibility for the city in those types of contractual arrangements. So I just wanted to jump in there before you voted on that. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Get to live another day.
All in favor? Opposed? Councillor Van Wellingham, normally when the first person that comes in the room makes sure they don't get too long resolutions.
I'll remember that.
I tried to give him an out on it, but.
You gotta go through those before.
I thought I was gonna get it.
All right. Resolution number 43, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Resolution number 43, moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Chase, that the following bylaw be now read a first and second time and approved in its present form and presented for third and final reading. Number 67-2022 zoning bylaw amendment, D14-22-01, 371 Stryker Road.
All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Notices of motion. We have none. Proclamations, we have none. Announcements, we'll start with Councillor Van Wellingham and we'll go counterclockwise.
I have nothing today, thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Goss.
I'll pass today.
Councillor Smith.
Well, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention what's going on north of the bypass with the flooding and the evacuations and everything that people are going through. And you know, I'm hoping for the best that the water start receding fairly soon and people can get back to their properties and living their lives. It's a really difficult situation for sure. So I'm hoping for the best in the next few days and that people will be able to get into their homes. So thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McMillan.
I'm fine, thanks, Your Worship.
Councillor Chase.
I have no comment at this time, Your Worship. Thank you.
Councillor Poirier.
No comment. Thank you.
Following up on Councillor Smith's comments, I have to thank the staff for the work they're putting into this. I came in on Sunday and there were a number of them here. This is not a Monday to Friday event they're dealing with right now. Staff are under a lot of pressure. They're getting, you know, obviously it's a difficult situation for a lot of people, and I think we have to appreciate that we rely on them with their expertise and direction. So for that, thank you very much. Resolution number 44, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move resolution number 44, and it's seconded by Councillor Poirier, that pursuant to Section 239 of the Municipal Act as amended, authorization is hereby given for Council to move into a closed session at 12:53 p.m. to discuss items pertaining to the following: education and training members of Council and disposition of land.